Let's take a look at the keyboard next. The standard keyboard has 88 keys, white keys and black keys, right? The white keys are called natural notes. The black keys are called accidentals. And it's kind of intimidating when you look at the 88 keys. But if you take just a moment, you'll see there's a pattern. We're looking at the black keys. The black keys are the landmarks to show us where we are. If you look, you'll see that there's a pattern all across the keyboard of 2 keys, 2 black keys, and then 3 black keys. And then a space, then 2 black keys, and then a space, and then 3 black keys, right? You see that? 2 groups of 2 and 3, and 2 and 3, and 2 and 3, and 2 and 3. There's only one place on the keyboard. If you go far left, you'll see there's 1 key. So there's 1 black key, then 2 black keys, and then 3 black keys, and then the pattern is 2, 3, 2, 3 thereon after that. Actually, what we see is that that 1 single black key is actually just the last furthest right key in a pattern of 3. That's because that first note on the very, very bottom of the piano is an A. And that's because we do the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, up to Z, right? When we're talking the alphabet. The musical alphabet only goes to G, Gulf. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then it repeats. Now, as I'm talking, I may very well say to you, instead of A, B, C, D, E, F, or G, I may say Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, or Golf. All right? And that's because that comes from years of playing and being in a band and being on stage and having to, maybe at some point, having to yell the chord to somebody else or the key to somebody else, which we'll get into the chords and keys and notes and stuff in a minute. If I yell at you C, you may not be able to tell if I said C or D or E or B. Did I say E? You know, so if I say echo, well, now you know I'm talking about E. If I say bravo, it's easier to understand, or Charlie, right? So you get that. Notes are identified by A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Chords, which is a group of notes that sound good together, are identified by the same thing. So you can have a note that's an A note. You can have a chord that's an A chord. And you can have a key, which is a group of chords that sound good together. That can be an A key. So a note can be A, a chord can be A, and a key can be A, or any derivative of A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Or any derivative of a sharp or flat. For all practical purposes, we start on C in the alphabet for the musical alphabet. And we go up to B. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B is basically how the keyboard is laid out. And if you look at that pattern, you'll see that what happens is that pattern from C to B actually repeats up and down the keyboard, I don't know, 7 times or 6 times, whatever that is. You can find keyboards that have 88 keys. There are keyboards that have, I think, 105 keys. Some of the big Bosendorf pianos, the big 9 or 12-foot concert grand pianos. Well, some of those have like 105 keys. But generally, 88 is going to be the standard for a full-size keyboard. 75 is fairly common. 62 or 61, you know, or 48, whatever. Those are very often electronic keyboards and have various uses. But I would suggest that if you have the option, a good old wood and steel piano is the best way to learn and the best thing to play on. There are some pretty darn good electronic pianos out there that have what are called weighted keys, where it feels like you're playing a real piano. And that's a great thing to learn on, because if you're just playing on just a keyboard that has no feedback through your fingers, it's really hard to learn to play. Organs are like that. A lot of organs have no feedback. So most people who are organists actually learn to play on the piano first, and then it's actually quite a jump for them to go to an organ that doesn't have that physical feedback to them. But here we go. Let's look at this. something that we need to understand is if you look at the pattern of black and white keys, that you see the 2 black and then the 3 black. If we look at the first black key to the farthest left in the group of 2, right? The white key to the left of that is C Charlie. Then if we go to that first black key, that's going to be sharp. So that would be C sharp or Charlie sharp if we go up. Then the next white key is D delta. And then if we go one more to the right, that's D sharp, delta sharp. Then that third white key, which is the key to the right of that second black note, is E echo. Now you'll notice that E and F do not have a black note between them. All right? So that's actually called just a half step, because each note, each key, one key removed, is a half a step. So we go 1/2 step from delta to delta sharp. We go 1 full step from delta to echo. From D to E is 1 full step. From C to D is 1 full step. From C sharp to D sharp is 1 full step. But from E to F is only half a step, because it's just 1 key removed, okay? No half step between Bravo and Charlie. There's no black key right here. See how that's missing? And there's no black key between Echo and Foxtrot. That's BC because they're close, and EF because they're extra friendly. So F Foxtrot is the key to the furthest left of the pattern of 3 black keys. So F Foxtrot, and if we go one more up to the right to that black key, that's Foxtrot sharp. And then G Golf would be the next white note. The black note in the middle of the 3 black notes is Golf sharp. And then we go to one more half step would be the A, and then 1.5 step further would be the A sharp, and then we end our little alphabet on the B Bravo, which is the furthest white key in this pattern. Now if we go backwards, B, and we go 1 step to the left, that's called flattening. So we're going to flat it. So even though it was the A sharp when we were going up, now as we go backwards, it's the flat. So that B, the black note to the left of the B, is a B flat. And if we go one more left, it's the A alpha. And if we go down one to that next black, the middle black, which before was a G sharp, now we call that A flat. So G sharp and A flat are the same note. F sharp and G flat are the same note. What else we got? C sharp and D flat are the same note. Okay, it all depends upon, and we'll find this later, which key you're in, because some keys will have, you really only want one note with one name. So you don't want to be talking to somebody and say that you've got a D and a D flat in the same song. You wouldn't. You would have a D and a C sharp in the same song. It just makes speaking about the music a lot easier. So that's what we have, is those 12 notes from Charlie to Bravo with the accidentals in there, the natural notes and the accidentals. There's only 12 of them. And that repeats over and over on the keyboard. Very good.